for Memphis. Jackson gets 14 a game. Goodwin gets 12. Lately, the freshman Austin Nichols has been right with them in scoring double digits 6 consecutive games. For UConn, the Huskies will wear the white of the home team, even though they're on Memphis home court because Connecticut is the higher seed. Lots of experience here with Napier and Daniels, Giffey, and Boatwright. But I got to tell you, if you like great guard play, you are in the right city. You're in the right arena.
And in the right basketball game. And you see Shaq Goodwin getting some last-minute instructions. The Memphis fans are ready to tip off. Jackson is one of those guards you mentioned. I think on the UConn side, DeAndre Daniels had 23 points and 11 rebounds. Was a big part of why UConn won the first game. I think if Ryan Boatwright can knock some shots down, let it go through the net for him, and if he can turn his season and get confident, then this is a dangerous Connecticut team.
Kevin Ollie, as mentioned by his counterpart Josh Pastner. Coach Ollie knows a thing or two about close games, doesn't he? 10 of their games have been decided by 6 points or less. 5 of them decided by 2 points or less. And UConn is 4-1 in those games. That is one cool customer with the kind of character and personality to operate in the very large shadow cast by Jim Calhoun. Ted Valentine, Jerry Pollard, and Zelton Steed are our officials for this quarterfinal. This for the right to face the top seed, Cincinnati. The building has been gathering steam throughout the day as more and more Memphis fans and fans of UConn as well have been pouring into the building. It is certainly going to be the loudest of this very first American Conference Championship tournament yet. So we're ready for the opening tip. Philip Nolan, a 6'10 sophomore, getting the start for the Huskies. They'll jump it up with Shaq Goodwin. And we're underway. A scrap in the backcourt, and Shabazz Napier, the Conference Player of the Year, wins it. Both teams entered the NCAA tournament, no question about that. The question is, can either one of them win this conference title, this tournament title here in Memphis? Not a surprise. Jaron Johnson, their best defender, draws Shabazz Napier. Boatwright, what an awkward play. He lost the handle on it. He actually batted it past the rim with his right hand. And it caught a piece of the iron. Follow-away shot won't drop for Daniels. Shaq Goodwin did his job. Made him try to score over the top. Here's Crawford, very good three-point man. Goodwin. Up against Nolan, into the lane, and immediately draws a foul. Shaq Goodwin, he can be very aggressive like that. If there is a soft spot on this Connecticut basketball team, it's on the front line. They are lean and they are inexperienced at certain spots. Nolan picks up the foul. Goodwin just a 61% foul shooter. Josh Pastner's team coming in ranked number 19. They are the number 5 seed. And Goodwin at the strike. Memphis at 23-8 to 12-6 in conference play. UConn at 24-7, also 12-6. This young man's got to be better at the free throw line. He's taken 139, now making 141 shots, only 61%. He is constantly at the rim because of his activity and athleticism. He's got to be better there. He's giving away 3 points. 6'9 sophomore from Atlanta. He has Memphis on the board first. Boatwright back for Daniels. Daniels can really hit that three. It's a big weapon for the Huskies. Jaron Johnson will have to work hard in pick and rolls to deal with Shabazz Napier. Pass intended for Nolan, swatted away by Memphis. That's Shaq Goodwin at his best right there. Shaq Goodwin is an undersized post player who has to use his ability to move side to side to overcome some size issues. Giffey to check it in. Only 11 on the shot clock here for the Huskies. They have to be aware of that. Boatwright trying to make a move with 5 on the shot clock. Giffey deadly out there from three-point land. He hits 50%.
Well, that guy in the first 9 or 10 games of the season was terrific. He's making everything he took, and he is a guy I think they'd like to get more shots for.
First 9 games of the season, as you referenced, UConn hit 47% from 3. They didn't lose a game. Nichols on the low block, spinning into the lane. Shot he loves because he can shoot with either hand, but it's not there.
A terrific challenge by Daniels. Just a really good job.
Yafai again. They left him open. Nichols went high up for the rebound. Joe Jackson, one of the great point guards in the country, was traveling with it. Stumbling into that lane, and he gives it up. Let's see if he got tripped a little bit above the rim. We'll give you a look.
You know, that's certainly the case that Josh Pastner is pleading. There's a little contact with Napier, but I think the reason he doesn't get the whistle is that was an out-of-control driver.
Jackson averaging 14 points, 5 assists a game. So a huge man for the Tigers. Boatwright on Jackson. Pretty good battle there. Napier swings the pass. Here's Daniels. Crawford and the Tigers are going to want to run at every opportunity. Johnson for Nichols. Pass intended for Goodwin. Yafai with a nice save on the baseline. Shabazz Napier, you talk about a gifted passer. I mean, a gifted everything. Rebounder, scorer, leader. And the conference player of the year took a bump, fired it up. No whistle. Crawford trying to get out in front. What a tough shot that was. Goodwin with the rebound. And it's out of play. It's going to be off of UConn.
Both teams laying their cards on the table early. Memphis wants everything in transition. As much as they can get out and run, they're happy. UConn dependent on the three-point shot and their transition game.
Goodwin in the paint. Lost the handle on it. Again, batted away from him.
All week long, Memphis has worked on the fundamentals, valuing possessions. Can they play a clean game? Limited turnovers.
Crawford gave up the dribble. Shot clock at 12 now. Jackson has set it up, getting instructions from Pastner. Down to 7. Jackson down to 3. Now 2. Johnson has to heave it, and he beat it with a three-pointer. Wow. Forced to fire it up there to beat the shot clock. Here's the swing for Daniels. On the baseline, Nolan short with it. Yafai wins it back, though. Boatwright working on Crawford. Daniels straight on. Yes, he hits a three-pointer.
So I think he's too up and down for his skills. 6'9", 195-pound junior, averaging 12 points, 5 boards. You know, he had 23 and 11. And I watched that game today. I'm like, I need to see that from that guy nightly. He's got that kind of ability. Indeed, he does. UConn with a 6-4 lead. Goodwin stripped again. He's having tough going in that lane, but now a foul. 15-42, and they'll get Goodwin for that. His first frustration foul on Shaq. SMU, Louisville trounced Rutgers, and Cincinnati got by UCF. All advancing to the semifinals tomorrow. Ryan Boatwright doubled up, drawing a lot of attention. They're extending pressure, eating up shot clock, trying to make UConn operate with a shorter clock.
Napier so far has been very quiet in the opening minutes. Here's Daniels. Shot clock to 7. DeAndre Daniels lost the handle. Came free down to Napier. Spins it up and in with a lot of English on it.
He is a creative scorer, Shabazz Napier. Plays with great pace.
Number 7 all-time scorer at UConn with 1,790 points. Jackson drives by him and it's deflected away off of UConn.
Well, Napier on one end makes a circus shot. I mean, there's very little time on the shot clock. He's got 3 blue jerseys. Watch the English he's got to put on this basketball in order to get it down.
Oh, by the way, he can also pop out and stick three-pointers at a 40% clip.
And twice he's made strips on the defensive end.
Quite a battle, though, for Player of the Year. I think it probably came down to the voting between Shabazz Napier and a man we just saw, Sean Kilpatrick. King spins into the lane and draws the foul. But Shabazz wound up with more votes, and he winds up with the top trophy.
Well, there was an interesting discussion in an article by Jeff Jacobs in the Hartford Courant. You know, you could talk about the greatest seasons in UConn history, and you would talk about guys like Ray Allen, Rip Hamilton, and that would be a long list. Phil Shardas, who's covered this program for 3 decades, first as a writer and now as the sports information director, has made the point that perhaps no single player on any UConn team has been leaned on more heavily than Shabazz Napier has been leaned on this season. So interesting perspective. And Joe D'Ambrosio, the longtime radio voice of the Connecticut Huskies, has said he does not believe there's a player in UConn history, and there's Coach Calhoun, he does not believe there's a player in UConn history who's hit more big shots than Shabazz Napier. So it's been quite a career.
And they have had a few.
Oh, yeah.
Boatwright being chased again, back to Napier.
It's good strategy. I mean, this is a perimeter-dominated offense, so why not try to put pressure on out front?
Out of the double team. Shot clock to 10. Boatwright doing a lot of dribbling. Down to 7. Now 5. Trying to get free to the baseline. Slid to that pass, and a block by King. Terrific left-handed block. He wants the ball back to give it to Jackson instead, and he's fouled with 14:02 left in the half.
The activity and willingness of the blue jerseys to defend for the full shot clock. Looks like Boatwright's finally going to get by and give his teammate an opportunity at the rim. And Mr. King says twice on the pipes, this is where they want to be off the defensive effort, right there in transition, and now an opportunity at the foul line.
Napier with his first foul. Jackson to the line at 78%. Senior who graduated back in December in less than 3.5 years at Memphis. But that rolls away.
The hometown kid with something to prove, Joe Jackson.
The top scorer. Also leads Memphis in minutes, steals, and assists, and very rarely turns it over. Really one of the better point guards in the country. One-point lead for UConn. Both teams ranked inside the top 22. Samuel now into the ball game. Terrence Samuel for Kevin Ollie, and that one thrown away. Let's go to Andy Katz.
We have to remember that UConn has not played in the postseason for 2 years. A year ago, including the Big East tournament, they were banned from that and any postseason because of a poor academic report that occurred a couple years before that. So this is a refreshing postseason for UConn, and one of the reasons that Shabazz Napier came back this season was to play in an event like this and get this team to the NCAA tournament.
He's beloved in the state of Connecticut and should be. The young man showed an awful lot of loyalty when others walked out the door. Alex Oriaki, and you certainly, you don't criticize those young men because they wanted the opportunity to compete in the postseason. But Shabazz Napier, his mom said, I taught him never to quit.
Picked off by Chroma. He'll take it in strong and denied. Knocked out of play by Michael Dixon Jr. One of the things that really shocks you is just how quick the guards' hands are on both sides.
By atmosphere, by intensity defensively, this is what you're talking about. The quickness. Doesn't this feel like an NCAA tournament game?
Yes, many ways it does. Going to go the other way. Connecticut loses it. Harassing defense. Both teams are bringing it. Memphis coming off a really nice senior day win here over SMU, but it's been a bit of an up and down season for them. But they did beat Louisville twice, the defending national champs. King, and a blocking foul. That'll go against Gafai.
Kevin Ollie is chewing on the official. He does not like the whistle going against his guys.
The crew here tonight: Ted Valentine, Jerry Pollard, and Zelton Steed. Dixon. He can hit the three-pointer. One of the better long-range shooters for Memphis. Jaron Johnson with a power drive. The kick. Crawford can't connect. You saw how high up that Shabazz Napier got for the rebound at 6'1". All season long, he's been the best rebounder.
Yeah, 6 rebounds a game at his size. Unbelievable. 180 pounds.
UConn with the basketball and leading by 1.
And I think in that scrum, Kevin Ollie felt like his guys were fouled in pursuit of the rebound. So he's still working those officials.
Napier so far with only 2 points for the Huskies. Brima on the back down, a good win. Yes, and 1. He'll go to the line.
Yeah, this is a young man who has got some developing to do. He's raw on the offensive end. But if you could consider one thing, his go-to move, it is this right here. He wants to go over that left shoulder, soft little jump hook.
Goodwin's second, so he's going to the bench.
That is huge. That is a guy with great teammate skills, an an athletic defender at the rim, and Brima puts him right there on the pine.
12.7 rebounds a game. Stolen away by UConn in transition now. Back to Napier. His 3. Got it.
He is so fast. His ability to get from the dribble into his shooting motion is crucial.
UConn starting to develop a little bit of a cushion here. Nichols stripped and fouled as he went into the lane. A 14-7 UConn lead on Memphis. Shabazz Napier, we just mentioned, he only had 2 points.
And the kinds of players who've gone through there, that's special.
Austin Nichols, talented freshman out of Collierville, Tennessee, at the line. And he's the American Conference Rookie of the Year, missing on the first one. It's an area where he needs some improvement, just 57% at the foul line. But he hit 60% of his shots.
Has it felt to you like you've said that an awful lot this season about how many guys can't shoot free throws?
More than normal,
yeah,
I would say.
I agree.
Makes the second get a little fortunate. 14-8 the Huskies. The handoff for Samuel. Broma. The entry pass for Brima and a foul.
Yeah, he was in jail. Yeah, Jaron Johnson somehow end up on Brima, so he's holding. There's some communication between he and Austin Nichols, and that's the one area where Nichols has really got to grow. Nichols is a good shot blocker. He comes over in rotation. He uses his length. But in terms of positioning, fighting through screens, Nichols is a guy UConn wants to attack tonight.
Foul number 1 on Jaron Johnson. Under 11.5 to go in the opening half.
And Memphis goes zone, and they do this often when Nichols is on the floor.
Samuel wants the jumper. He swishes that in, a 2-pointer. 16-8. Huskies really settling in, shooting the ball very well.
And defending at a high level. There's intensity on both sides.
Stolen away by Shabazz Napier. From a back to Samuel, a foul. He almost got it to go. He'll be at the line. You understand they are going to review the last long-distance shot by UConn, whether it was a 2 or 3.
I thought his foot was clearly on the line.
We'll show it to you.
He's directly opposite us, so the ball changes sides of the floor. Yep, see his right toe is on the line. And the officials had it as a 2 initially.
Samuel to shoot. With 11:01 to go in the first half. UConn, the number 4 seed, so the better seed. Memphis, number 5. Upcoming games: Illinois, Michigan, Florida State, Virginia. Florida State coming off a great win over Maryland.
Well, huge win. A tip-in, late play by Boris Bojanovsky, one of a couple of 7-footers from Leonard Hamilton.
He actually dunked it with .4 remaining. And that was the decider in a game they could not afford to lose if they're going to go to the NCAA tournament.
Well, and interestingly, the latest bracketology, Joe Lenardi still has them on the outskirts of the tournament. We'll see if that changes.
I would think if they beat Virginia, they're in.
Oh, yeah.
Jackson holding off Boatwright. Here's Crawford's three. Yes.
Now, he's a streak shooter. So if you are UConn, now that he's made that jumper, be there on the catch next time because he can really get it going.
Giffey swings for Boatwright. 15 on the shot clock for the Huskies. Now 5 to shoot. Boatwright lost the dribble. Giffey baseline drive. Gets 2.
Well, that's not typically something that you get a steady diet of from Giffey.
For the Huskies, their third field goal with less than 3 seconds on the shot clock. They're taking it right down to the nub. Napier says, why not? Too strong, though. One and done on that effort. Jackson, baseline bounce. King denied. Giffey. Oh, save! Over his head and kept it in play. Outstanding play. Napier shredding the D. Blocked and fouled on the play.
It is so loud in here. You can barely hear the whistle.
Well, back to Giffey making a really fine athletic save on the other end.
And this, to me, is where you miss Goodwin, because Goodwin would have been right there in pursuit of the basketball. A tough challenge leads to a loose ball. Great job by Giffey to make that play and let them go the other direction.
Goodwin still sitting with the 2 fouls. Nick King just picked up his first. So Napier's at the line, and among the many things that Shabazz does well to shoot foul shots, 88%.
Anybody who heard this young man give his acceptance speech for Player of the Year had to be moved. I don't think I've ever heard a Division I athlete, and I'm sure it's happened. But Mom has got to be proud. And I'll tell you what, he thanked the managers, he thanked support staff, and most importantly, he thanked his mom, who raised 3 children as a single woman. And Shabazz did not shy away from the fact that their upbringing was on a tight budget.
That speech made a lot of people tear up in that building when he was named the Player of the Year in the American Conference the other day here. UConn, incidentally, since Goodwin went to the bench for Memphis, is up 11-4. Outscored of 11-4. Johnson jumping into the lane, but not there. He missed the buddy. King wins it back. Another effort, and finally a whistle, a foul on the play. A lot of contact in that lane.
Yeah, the intensity has been absolutely outstanding.
Daniels with the personal, so it goes against UConn. And that'll put King at the line where he is a problem. He's 51%. King, a freshman. He is a Memphis product, but drops in the first one. (21-12). The Huskies have to be very happy with this start on an enemy court like this. But remember, they have beaten Memphis already twice this season. So there's a lot of confidence in the Huskies.
Yeah, and listen, let's remember that Louisville absolutely put it to them in their last game. And I think that was was that close to a 10-second violation? We should look at that.
Boatwright down the lane. Can't convert it, though. Josh Bassett was hopping mad. There was no whistle. Crawford with a long 3. Barely nicking the iron, but King returns it.
He has played well. It's like he's found his sea legs, King.
He has 5 coming off the bench and only 3 rebounds. Samuel finding the lane. Samuel, Nolan with the tip.
It's another young man who's starting to play well. His game has come around.
23-14, the Huskies. Dominic Woodson on the baseline. Gives it off for Johnson. Not there for three-point land. And now Boatwright will take his time and walk it across midcourt. Been a different game since Shaq Goodwin picked up his second foul, hasn't it?
No question about it. His energy is contagious to his Memphis team. They haven't stopped playing hard, but he comes up with so many 50-50 balls, Shaq Goodwin.
Boatwright with a kick, Giffey, hits the three. And the lead balloons for the Huskies. Timeout Memphis. This is their biggest lead tonight.
But I think because Tyler Olander, these guys stayed at a moment that was difficult in the history of Connecticut basketball, and they are thankful for their senior loyalty.
Crawford launches again. Yep, a three-pointer.
See how much I like Herbstreit. It's Susan Herbst, who's the president of UConn.
Crawford with 6 points. Boatwright. Giffey again. He's wide open. Got it again. Another triple.
Inexcusable to let a guy who's already burned you from deep and is not going to give you a consistent diet of beating you off the bounce and not be there on the catch.
29-17 Huskies. They've hit 5 out of 8. Again, the three is a big part of their attack, and a foul before any shot. Under 7 minutes left before halftime. Niels Giffey, the 6'7" senior from 3 out of 4 beyond the three-point line. Joe Jackson at the line. Makes the first free throw for Memphis. And Goodwin continues the long sit after picking up 2 fast fouls. And Memphis could really use him. Jackson makes 1 of 2.
You know, it's interesting. For Jim Calhoun, if you committed 2 fouls in the first half, you saw it the rest of the way. It didn't matter when it happened. Kevin Ollie, a little bit looser with that policy. Josh Pastner believes that. Do you like that? Do you like letting your players sit at 2?
Boy, I think it really depends on the guy, doesn't it? Because a lot of guys can play with fouls. And they can stay away from making dumb mistakes. Jackson with the theft. Napier staying with him on his hip, but he'll lay it in. So Memphis getting a little energy run here. And the crowd can really get behind them. In a building traditionally they've been close to unbeatable in. 177-20 here at FedEx Forum since moving to this arena in 04-05.
Josh is running down the sidelines, encouraging defense.
Shot clock at 9. Daniels to his right, scoops it up there. No. Rebound tip to the corner and saved by Memphis. Jackson comes away. Jackson wants to drive. The scoop shot won't fall. Nichols hit as he tried to return it. And Austin Nichols will be at the line.
A rushed shot opportunity by Connecticut turns into a run opportunity for Memphis.
Daniels with his second foul.
A little turnover here and turn the other direction. Joe Jackson getting out in transition.
Nichols ranked the #1 high school senior in the state of Tennessee. Chose to come to Memphis. A lot of schools wanted the long and lanky 6'8" freshman. Daniels to the bench with those 2 personals. And chose to come here from Collierville, Tennessee. That's a nice game. 17 points against Temple. It's 17 against Cincinnati. Playing his best right now.
I love his skill set. Man, that's a big man that can use either hand. He's got terrific touch. He can play a little bit of the face-up game. And again, as a shot blocker, he's good. He's got to improve as a defender. You put him in a pick and roll, and you can get some action off him.
Boatwright slapping a foul by Dixon Jr. Got him on the arm of the hand with 5:28 left in the half. And UConn leading by 8. Trying to knock off Memphis doors for the 3rd time this year.
Yeah, next foul will be some free throws for Connecticut. And Memphis in a zone here.
Boatwright to get 5. Thought about the 3. Kicks the pass. Here's Giffey again. Yes! And even before he released it, the Memphis fans in the crowd were groaning.
Yep.
They knew what was coming.
Good activity without the ball by Giffey, relocating to find open spots.
UConn back by 11. Crawford trying to answer, much too strong. Huskies dominating the glass. Napier tied up on the play that Ted Valentine calls it a tie-up, and Memphis will have it on the possession arrow.
You have got a guy who can change pace, use the crossover. Dixon stays in front. I thought it was a foul. I thought he had a lot of his right arm. I thought that was absolutely a foul. You shaking your head yes or no?
I agree with you.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have a whistle. They took mine away. I think it was a wise thing. Jackson to penetrate. Got his own miss. Dixon off target. Giffey with a rebound. There's a whistle there. And a personal foul at 4:28 to go. This is going to go against UConn. So foul against the Huskies. That'll go against Giffey. That'll be his second. Well, here's our bracket. SMU fell today to Houston, surprisingly 68-64. No surprise, but Louisville just ran all over Rutgers. Cincinnati had a tougher time with UCF than they expected, but the #1 seed advances.
They did advance, and then Houston, a team that was struggling at times this year. Stiggers and Rose were great for them, but more importantly, SMU came in as the best shooting team in the conference, and Houston guarded them.
Austin Nichols at the line again. And Dorsey figures to be a young man who will get fouled frequently because he likes to play around the basket. And he's very clever. He's got a lot of shots, a lot of different ways he can beat you, but he's got to get better at that foul line.
Listen, as a player, you hate to give away free points. Really, free throw shooting is about repetition and form.
Again, just 57% there for the freshman. He's 3 for 5 tonight.
Remember what Larry Bird said. He said, when you walk up to that free throw line, you know in your heart whether or not you put in the necessary time. Have you taken 100, 200 free throws and made sure you're comfortable so that when you get there, you feel good about yourself.
Giffey on the bench, by the way, the red-hot Husky with 2 fouls. Shabazz Napier. Shabazz, a perfect name for Memphis, where rock and roll was born. Promo stopped on the baseline. Boatwright with it. Shot clock at 8. That came flying out of his hand. He just lost it. A little out of control there.
Kevin Ollie just turns the other direction. So sort of turns his back, a little bit upset. Listen, you don't want to take away Boatwright's aggressiveness, but you do need him to be a good decision maker.
Huskies up by 10. Memphis trying to cut in. Jackson on Napier. That's a heck of a matchup here. Jaron Johnson on the breaks. That glances away. Pelham, he's fouled on the play. Fouled by Bryma. So we have a timeout on the court with 3.
And Kevin Durant had a great quote. And it was unsolicited. Somebody was asking him about professionalism and work ethic. He was talking about their own. Kevin Durant basically said, you know what? I played with Kevin Ollie, and there was only one guy I wanted to emulate in terms of his work ethic, his habits, how he conducted himself on and off the basketball floor. And that guy was Kevin Ollie.
Kevin Durant said that.
Kevin Durant. Unsolicited.
Pelham knocks that down. 32-24. Memphis trying to put some pressure in the backcourt, too. Boatwright with it. .322 to go in the first half. This is our last game of the night here in Memphis. Shabazz on the drive. Fouled as he tied up by Jaron Johnson.
That is a good offensive player, Dave O'Brien. He felt that defender, and he just leaned in ever so slightly to make sure that official had to blow the whistle.
Napier to the line. 2 fouls on Johnson. Now, Napier last year, all Big East first team, named the American Conference Player of the Year this year. He should be a lock for All-America this year. That one's in and out. Senior from Roxbury, Massachusetts. Now Tyler Olander coming on.
There are so many All-America teams, right? Basketball writers. USA Today does one. ESPN.com does one. But he has on all of the major awards their final list.
Tigers looking for a hot hand. Jackson to penetrate. The kick for Nichols. He draws the double team and he throws it away. Outstanding defense by the Huskies. Napier to the other end. Spins in 2 more. Lead back to 10 for the Huskies. Napier with 8. Crawford in front of the UConn bench for Jackson. 2:37 to play in the half. Pelham. Crawford. And a 3-second violation.
Kevin Ollie had his guys working crisply this morning. They look ready to play. Shabazz Napier gets out in the open floor. I'll tell you what, that was a difficult shot. That defender got him moving to his left. Good thing he could use that offhand.
A great touch around the basket.
Oh, such good touch.
Magical with both hands. Like 35 minutes a game as well, along with all the other statistics we've mentioned. So he almost never comes out. Nolan. Olander. That one looked ugly coming off his hand. A scrap at midcourt taken away by Boatwright. Up ahead, Nolan knows what to do with it there. Now a whistle with 2:09 to go.
What's the stoppage here?
Is it hanging on the rim? I believe it is. Or on the slap of the backboard. That might be it too. A technical foul has been called here.
And Kevin Ollie is letting them have it. Just make the play and go back down the other end. That is unnecessary. Completely and utterly unnecessary.
They were both unnecessary.
Yeah.
So Dixon Jr. will shoot them for Memphis. 2:09 to go in the half. Tigers hoping this triggers a run for themselves. Dixon hits 84% at the foul line. He's actually the best foul shooter on the team.
You don't mind emotion from kids. But for a guy who cherishes professionalism and how you conduct yourself, that would offend Kevin Ollie. And he is still letting Nolan have it. And Nolan's looking over going, yeah, you're right, coach. I got you.
Kevin Ollie holding both index fingers to his temples, looking at Nolan going, think.
Yeah.
Think.
Yeah, it's interesting. When we were talking earlier about Kevin Ollie, and again, I think whoever took over had to be a man of great character and strength, because that man right there, Jim Calhoun, changed the University of Connecticut, and I don't mean that just athletically. You said you see a lot of Calhoun in Kevin Ollie.
I do.
What do you mean?
Well, I think exactly what we're seeing here. I mean, that toughness, that even though they're playing well and they have a lead here, although Memphis starting to cut in, never satisfied.
Yeah, it's a great point.
But he has a lot of that toughness out of that end of Boston that Calhoun always carried with him. So does Shabazz Napier, by the way. A foul here by Pelham as Boatwright went down. 1:45 to go.
Such a good trap, too. It's too bad because you had a really athletic, active, long trap with Pelham. He's just trying to be aggressive and make a play. And the crowd is reacting to the replay on the scoreboard overhead.
Howling. It'll be Boatwright at the line with 1:45 before the break. Nice shooting here to put UConn back up by double digits, and he makes the first. UConn fell out of the top 25 for a while after back-to-back losses at Houston and at SMU at the start of conference play in the American. Got back in on March 3rd.
That was a season-changing trip because Kevin Ollie talked an awful lot about the defensive end of the floor and how they were going to have to win basketball games. Tell you what, you're facing pressure that you really didn't face a year ago because the postseason was not an option. The 20 wins a year ago is the baseline expectation for a Connecticut program. You know, more is expected of it than just 20 wins. It's about deep runs and postseason tournaments.
A win tonight would be number 25 for the Huskies. Nice pass. Pelham can't convert. Got it back. Missed again. Huskies never really made him feel comfortable down there. Olander thought about it. Kicks it back for Shabazz Napier. He'll set it up now. Huskies have shot it very well here in the first half. And a timeout by Kevin Ollie with 1:04 before halftime. Fans continue to let the officials have it, but right clock for the Huskies. The one thing that UConn has done, for the most part, they have kept this crowd from really becoming any sort of a factor. Shot clock down to 3. Napier with a kick. Long jumper, no. Rebound comes out high. Second effort now for the Huskies.
Good pursuit of the ball by Tyler Olander. I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with tipping it out if you can't get it. Tyson Chandler has done that his entire career. Just keep tipping it. Work and work and work.
So Boatwright will set it up. Junior guard from Aurora, Illinois. Final seconds of the first half in our last quarterfinal. Boatwright lines up a 3, and he gets it. Big shot. Connecticut now with a very comfortable 41-27 lead. And if the fans were quiet before, they are deathly silent now. Jackson. King to drive it, leans in, and that's going to do it at the end of the first half. It is all UConn. At the break, leading 41-27.